Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the deck profile for the Geargiakuri. This is a deck that revolves around bringing out the big Karakuri Synchro monsters, generating pluses, drawing shit tons of cards, and then making the Xyz monsters if you should need them. And it's a very OTK-centric deck. Now, since the Geargia structure deck was just released, I think they're like, hey, why not make this a thing? So without further ado, let's go into the deck profile and explore choices as we go along. So first we run one Redox. Now Redox I mainly use as a monster reborn kind of deal, as well as easy rank 7 fodder. If I should have like a Karakuri Shogun, if I should have Bure's effect negated, I can just go, okay, let's go boulders and just go into either a Dracosac or a Big Eye, depending on what the situation demands. Next we go for the triple Geargia arsenal. This is just to search out your armors. Yeah, that's basically why it's there. You just normal summon it, then tribute it to go for a armor, and then you flip armor face down fence. Nothing too special there. Next we go for the triple Geargia accelerator. This is just your main way into going into your OTK. As long as you have a Geargia monster on board, you can special summon this guy from your hand, and then you can do all sorts of crazy shenanigans. You got going into Xyz monsters, you can synchro with them, whatever the fuck you want. So it's ridiculously good. And if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, and not necessarily by synchro summoning, but if it's sent from the field to the graveyard in any other way but synchro summoning, basically, you get to add a Geargia monster from your graveyard to your hand, which is pretty nice. So next we go for the triple Geargia armor. This is our Stratos, basically. When he's flipped face up, you can add one Geargia monster from your deck to your hand, which is really, really nice. And he sits on a hefty 1900 booty too, so he can potentially sit and stall out some games while you gather resources. Next we go for the triple Karakuri Zaizan. Now Zaizan is our main level 4 tuner. We use him to go for the Buredo, as well as the Bure, depending on what we have on board. Most likely the Buredo, but you can also use him to go into Gear Giant X. But that is basically why he's there. Since he's special summoned by the effect of Bure or Buredo, you can make some really nasty plays with this guy. Next we go for double Geargia Augur. Now Augur is just there to be like a first turn play. If you don't have your combo pieces already available, you go for Augur, you search out your armor, and then you just hope to God that you don't take too much damage for the rest of the turn. Or you can just use him for some nice rank 4 plays and things like that. You can use him to search out Accelerator, and then just go for an instant Gear Giant Axe, and then just add your armor to your hand. That way, that is probably the better way to go about it. Next we go for the Geargiakuri Mark III. This guy is just to make your... it basically makes your life a little bit easier by summoning out the Geargiakuri Mark IIs, so you can make not necessarily rank 3 plays, because this deck does not play any rank 3s at all, but you can if you want to. Now he's there for to prepare yourself for the Zaizan combos and things like that. This deck is very wombo combo. Everything just builds on each other, and just it's a nice little synergy. And of course we have the Mark II as well, just to complete the little set, and that's basically everything there is to be for rank for the Geargia monsters. And the final level 3 we run is the Nispachi, which allows us to go into our Karakuri Bure a lot easier to prepare for our potential OTK. Now the OTK in this deck is really simple. All you really need is a Geargia monster, and 3 accelerators, and 1 tuner. That's all you need. So as long as you have, say, an armor already on board, you can just go, okay, let's special summon all my accelerators. Then you go for an Ispachi, special summon out your Bure, and then you summon the rest of the tuners to go for the Buredos and things like that. And then you just draw a bunch of cards to like accommodate for the 3 cards to use with the Geargia Accelerator to prevent yourself from losing hand advantage. Next we go for the double Iron Call. This is just a way to get back our Geargia monsters and things like that, to go for level... go either for rank 4 plays or level 7 or 8 synchros. Next we go for the triple Mystical Space Typhoon, just standard back removal, nothing too fancy there. Next we go for the 1 limited removal. This is just to go for even harder OTKs, should we be limited in some way. or just need to punch over something, like say, oh, I don't know, a tower or something. Next we go for the 1 Gear. Now this card, sure, it's a great card in regular Geargias, but I don't feel like it's as useful here. It's mainly just to go for your Gear Giant Axe or your Honor's Arc / your Excision Knight. That's all that it's there for. You can also use it for synchros, but well, you can do that if you really want to. Next we go for the 1 Bottomless Trapple to stop opponent's plays. 1 Mirror Force, because you know you want to protect your Geargia armor as much as possible, and sometimes when your opponent, you know that your opponent is going to punch over it, you might as well just Mirror Force it. Next we go for a triple trap stun, because we don't want our opponent to activate any traps when we're going to go for our OTK now, do we? Next we go for the triple dimensional prison. This card is really good too because it stops things from destroying, as I said, our Geargia armor. And sadly it only stops 1 monster, but it banishes it, which is a lot better. And finally we run the 1 Solemn Warning, and that counts up the extra deck. So for the main deck rather. So for the extra deck we run the triple Buredo and triple Bure. These are your main sources for the OTK. You summon like a bunch of these guys and then punch your opponent in the face several times and you win. Next we go for the Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. This is a nice little rank 8 that you can go into should like your Bures stay on the field without their effects or something like that, or they can't attack for some reason. You can just go ahead and make this to like make sure that you have at least something on board. Next we go for the 1 Ghost Knight, well, Lancelot. The same thing there. Should we really need to have some monster removal that does not involve should we just need some monster removal or spell trap negation, this is our monster to do so. It's a really good card, and it also allows us to punch our opponent in the face directly, so it's kind of nice. Next we go for the Mega Phantom Beast Draco Sack and our Big Eyes. These guys are basically there in case our Buredos, in case our Bures should be left useless, like say for example our opponent Effect Veilers it or something, or maybe even Fiendish Chains it for that matter. We can just summon something like a, I don't know, a Redox, and then just, you know, go for our Mega Phantom Beast Draco Sack or our Big Eye, depending on what the situation demands. Next we go for the the triple Gear Giant Axe. This is our main searcher card. It allows us just to add 1 level 4 lower machine type monster from our deck or graveyard to our hand, which allows us to recycle things, and it's actually really nice. And also when it's destroyed, we can special summon 1 level 3 lower Geargia monster from our graveyard. So it's kind of nice in that regard. Next we go for the 1 Silent Honor's Arc to get over monsters that like Beals and things like that. And finally we run the 1 Excision Knight to level the board to preparing for the OTK next turn. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little deck profile, and I'm out.